Hi everybody, welcome back to Three Sisters Homestead. Today is September 1st. I didn't get to do a garden tour in August, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to count this as our August garden tour. So we are going to start up front at the trellis. I'm standing on the outside of our fence so that I can give you guys the whole view of our trellis. The beans on this side, they had some red on their leaves. And when I looked up what that is, it says that it's aphids. And so I tore those ones out, but these ones actually got pretty mature and they have pretty big beans on there. A couple of these, like this one, they are ready to harvest, but we're gonna do our garden tour and then we'll come out and harvest. My nephew, before he wants to come out and help, I told him he couldn't come help with the video, but we would harvest when we were done. So we went ahead and we planted a couple more cucumbers on this trellis. That way we could get some more cucumber harvest to make more pickles, because the ones that we had along the fence are pretty much all dead and we pulled them out except for maybe one or two. We did plant a couple cucumbers in here where the beans were as well, because the beans were all done. But the squash bugs are really bad and they are even attacking these new cucumbers. And you see that one's completely gone. And over here on this side where beans were, both of them are completely gone. This is where we had squash at, and we tried to replant these as well. I put 5 new ones in here and 3 of them are completely dead. And this has only been maybe 3 days ago that we planted those. See, there's one of those squash bugs right there. So, step on him. Squash bugs. But these are a couple more of them. These are the 2 that have survived. And this is our corn. It's starting to get pretty tall, starting to put off some ears, but it keeps getting blown over because we've been having some storms. So I'm not sure that it's going to give us very much and do much of anything. And then over here is that bean bed that we made together in a video before. These beans have not done very great. At first I thought maybe that there was something wrong with the soil because they were turning yellow, but they've greened up more. The new growth has green, but they're still not looking very great, but they are giving us some beans. They're small. Those beans aren't looking very well either. Those are pole beans. But I'll come around here to our okra and where we had our potatoes. We did harvest all of our potatoes, so these 2 rows were empty, besides 2 little okra plants right there. So we went ahead and put some more squash in here, but those got 8 as well. So these 2 little okra, not doing much, very small, trying to grow some okra. I don't know what it thinks it's doing. But these 2, I think I'm going to rip them out because they aren't going to give us anything. These ones, again, they're not super tall, but they are producing pretty well now. Like this one, probably a little bit too big because it is starting to get kind of woody. But that's all right. There are quite a few on here. We have not harvested yet today. These ones are pretty small. Looks like that one got... Oh, that was just where we harvested one. Looks pretty good. But the rest of this is empty over here. There's our wheelbarrow full of weeds that we pulled out of here. And we did clean up these cattle panels back here to get all that morning glory off. Or vine weed, sorry, not morning glory. And when we took the weed whacker through here, she did kill a lot of it that was on this trailer as well. And then back here to our sea of tomatoes. These are our second planting of Roma tomatoes. They are starting to ripen up. There's a lot of them in here. We're gonna go through and harvest, like I said. This is what our cucumbers were looking like, all dried out. See the squash bugs on here attacking these now that we took the squash plants out. So I'm gonna have 4 come out here and squish these guys for me. This is one of the tomatoes that did not have a cage. You see, it's just sprawled out all across the ground. And this part is turning up, trying to get some light. That's like the only piece on there that's healthy. But lots of red tomatoes. Then we come down here. Here is one of the other cucumber plants that's still hanging on. See, it's got some yellowing, but it had a couple cucumbers on there, so I thought I would leave it so that maybe we could get a little bit of something off of it. So then when we come up here past our second planting of Roma tomatoes, this row, I think this was our part of our first, because these ones are pretty well picked. I think this row and that row. Yeah, because the last 4 rows were the second planting. But these are our black Krim. They haven't been setting any more flowers because it's been over 90. But there are still a few fruit on here. And then here is our green tomato. A few of these on here that are ripe. This is what they look like when they're ripe. And then this is when they are not ripe. These flies are attacking me. We are getting some blight. But the top half of these look really good. This one is starting to put on some new flowers because it has been cooler. The past couple days anyway. This one has fell off. I need to tie that back up. A lot of them are dying. Starting to die, getting blight. These cages on our Roma tomatoes have held up really well since those are indeterminates. Oh man, I see a hornworm. I'll show you in a minute. But these cages that we used that were my great-grandfather's, these have held up really well. These were indeterminates, but they never got big enough that they came out of the cage. These ones are our cherry tomatoes. They are setting some more blossoms now. I hadn't seen them put any on for a while because, like I said, the heat. But look at this guy. But see, our yellow ones are getting past their cages, making it hard for us to walk through here. This plant doesn't have anything left on it, but it is setting some more blossoms, but I don't know that we have enough time for those to come to full ripeness, but we'll leave it and see. And then these were our beefsteaks. And then that's it for the tomatoes, and we're over to our peppers. These were our confetti bell peppers. They have been starting to turn color, and these have given us a lot of peppers. We've chopped those up and froze them along with our bell peppers. And this is one of the volunteer tomatoes. Our yellow bell peppers, our purples, volunteer tomatoes, purple bell peppers, our green bell peppers. The peppers seem to be doing all right. These are getting some curling, so they need watered. It's got a bug hole. And then that brings us around to the box with our hot peppers in it. we pulled out about half of the jalapenos because we have made as much cowboy candy as we set our goal for ourselves. So we met that, so we pulled most of those out, but there's still a lot of jalapenos on here. We might make one more batch. These ones are turning red. We've decided this was the plant that we were leaving them to turn red. And then these are all of our Sugar Rush peach. These Sugar Rush peach peppers have been super prolific. They just are loaded with peppers. I definitely won't plant as many as I did again next year. And then this was my little Tabasco plant that was getting shaded out. I pulled out the peppers that were really close to it, but so now it is starting to put peppers on. So those won't have enough time to turn red, but we'll get some green ones. And then this banana pepper did make a comeback. This is the one that had gotten chewed down. And then here was a spot where we had some beans in here. So those were all done, and we put some pole beans in here as well. Then that brings us to the eggplants, and that is our last item. These have put off a lot. I still haven't cooked any of them. I still need to try them and make a video with you guys, but I have them saved in the freezer and a couple of them still out in my parents' house, so maybe we will do that sometime in the next week. Yep, just quick little garden tour video for you guys. Everything's going pretty well. We are gonna go ahead and start doing some replanting in these rows. I brought the seeds with me, so I'm actually gonna put some more seeds in the ground before I leave and go home. But that is it for today, guys. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.